I'm Vernon. I run the top mortgage brokerage in Massachusetts with over 20 years of experience.
I'm Craig. I've done $100 million consistently since my second full year in the business, and I'm Massachusetts' top mortgage broker. We're the Mortgage Daddies, with real advice, real stories, and real results.
Let's get going.
Welcome back to Mortgage Daddies. Today we have a special guest, Jared Methia. Jared is a loan officer with us at Milestone. He's been with us for a couple of years as a loan officer and a few years before that.
Yeah, about 4 years now. Been a loan officer for about 2.5. Started helping out in the beginning stages when Craig brought me on, assisting with the marketing piece. Then, the licensing might have took a while to get, but we got it. And then after that, the rest is history.
Yeah, Jared's been a fan favorite here in the office. Always positive, no matter how bad anything is going. And, he can dish it out. He takes it. He's a good team player. I'd say over the last couple of years, you've really grown into yourself. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't have super high expectations when you first started off.
I love to hear it.
You know what awesome. I mean? But I knew you had the drive in you. You had all the right tools. Craig definitely saw something in you, and I definitely see it now. You just made first President's Club that we've ever had at Milestone. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah, man, that's a huge accomplishment.
That was stressful. There was times where I was like, I don't think it's going to happen. We know the numbers that we need to hit. And I was like, I'd come in some days, be like, no, it's not going to happen. Then a couple months go by, you start picking up some steam. Then it's like, all right, I think this is going to happen. And I remember I would always come in like to Craig's office and be like, dude, I think I got it. But it's like, you don't want to, count your eggs before they hatch, as far as you could have 5 deals in, but are those 5 deals going to close? And if I needed 4 of them, 2 don't close. Now we're having a different conversation. And I'm sad not going on a, awesome trip that you guys put on for us.
Was that something that you felt really helped push you the last quarter of the year?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, as far as the President's Club becoming a thing, and then as far as the leaderboard being put in place, because it's like, we're all former athletes. We compete. It's what we do. That's why I love this business so much, is where once you guys put the leaderboard into place, like I'm seeing these names of people I work with every day, or it's like, say I know I'm working more hours and putting in more time and they're still getting above me. It was like, what do I have to do to beat them? Because at the end, we had like a kind of like a group at the end that was like a herd of people that were on the fence of getting there. And it's like, I'm not going to be that guy that doesn't get there, because that would just piss me off, forever.
Yeah, I think that the competition side of it is a huge piece of this business, for loan officers. And, so many times at the end of the year, everybody's worked hard. It's been a long, year. The last quarter is holidays are coming, holiday parties. It's super easy to kind of start to check out. And I think that was something that this year really helped kind of push everybody at the end of the year to really, keep their foot on the gas.
Yeah, just keep them motivated. And I think, for Jared, I see it, I hear it from business partners in the real estate community, is that, he's out there, he's a team player, he's showing up to events, he's supporting the cause, right? Like he's out there helping. He's a lot like you in regards to educating the home buyer and going through that process. That's kudos to you, man. Like you've only been doing this for 3 years, and to be one of the top guys here at Milestone, and really the sky's the limit for you. What kind of motivated you, or how'd you get into the mortgage business in the first place? I know you're friends with Craig, but it takes a special person to say, I want to get into the mortgage business, because this is not an easy game. And some people might see it from the outside and be like, I'd known Craig since high school, or I knew him in high school, or I knew him when he was at the fire department. It's a whole different animal, right? Yeah. When you get into it. Can you talk about where you thought the expectation and what you were going to be able to do? And then we've all gone through the down part, right? Talk about some of that, because you've been able to ride through some of the downturns and things going sideways and not really always going your way.
No, I mean, you got to ride the highs because the lows are low in this business, and it's just inevitable. That's what's going to happen. It's like a roller coaster at times until you build enough, referral partners that trust you, where it's like you're never going to hit a low, similar to what you guys have done, being able to maintain and just continue to grow year after year. But getting into it, I have a lot of friends in different industries where it's like, I know if they came to mine, it'd be tough. And if I went to theirs, it'd be tough, because it's definitely not for everyone. But getting into the business originally, Craig and I are both members at the country club in New Bedford. We're golfing there one day, and finally I was just like, you have to go to college for what you do. Because school was never really my thing. I played sports, that was fun. The only reason I would have went to college is to play a sport of some sort, just to, that would be my main reason to go. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And when he said you didn't need to go to college for this, I was very intrigued, where I'm like, okay, cool. Just tell me what I need to do. And, whatever, if that took 6 months or a year and a half, doesn't matter, neither here nor there, because once you pass the test, you don't really have to look at it ever again. But getting into it and starting to go to the office, even before I was licensed, I would see Craig in the office from 8 to freaking 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night at times. And I'm like, oh man. And I remember I'd be there and I was helping out with marketing. So I was on like a salary or whatever. And I would just wanted to be around it, even if I didn't have to. 5 o'clock came, I wasn't like, oh, cool, I'm going to leave, go get some dinner with my friends. Like, I wanted to stay around it because the more you're around it, the more you learn. And obviously in this business, the more you learn, the more you earn. As far as, is somebody going to go work with a loan officer who has like zero knowledge, works 9 to 5 and leaves? Or is it going to be someone who's going to let you know they're available all the time, like what we do here and the business model you guys have kind of taught me, where it's like, all right, if it's 10:30 at night, you don't necessarily have to respond. I can wait till the morning. But if you want to, you can.
Yeah.
Where someone else, say a banker, is not going to respond ever to that. So you guys putting kind of the game plan in front of me, and like I've been able to learn so much from the both of you as far as you both have unique styles in the business. So me, from a outside standpoint, just watching throughout the course of the beginning, pulling some little tidbits of what Vern does and some things that you do, and being able to kind of blend them together, I think has helped my business, a substantial amount.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the things like that you guys kind of both touched on is like people see it from an outside, right? You see me at the golf course, you see me out and about, and it's like, oh wow, he does well, it's fun, but you don't see the grind that we put in on a daily basis, or how much it's like. It's one of those professions where it never stops. Right?
Oh, Craig and Vern, they dress nice, they drive nice cars. I want to do what they do. Until you get into it, then you don't. It's like that time you're running out of a burning building when we're running into it. Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy.
And we drive nice cars like for 4 minutes a day because we're locked in the office for 14 hours. So it doesn't make sense sometimes. Talk about you've taken on a little bit of like a leadership role as a team leader. I know under Craig, and he's grooming you to do that. How does that make you feel that, somebody like a Craig Snell, after, he's a veteran in this business, he's now an OG per se. How does that make you feel to help others in the industry, either get into the industry, explain to them the ups and downs? And sometimes, I pulled you in my office and I'm like, Jared, you can't let the down bother you this much. Just try to, it's all the same. Don't ride the highs too high. I know you said that earlier, but because when the lows come, it can be a dark place if you let them, keep you there.
And I would say about a year ago, I had a lower moment in my career because I came out of the gates pretty hot. I was, getting a good amount of loans coming in, closing a good amount of deals, making some money. And then a low came. And I was like, I didn't know how to personally take it, where it was like a lot of me talking with you or sitting down with you, like behind closed doors. Cause I'm like, what do I have to do? Like, what am I doing wrong essentially? And that's where I learned where it's just like, you got to keep going. You could have a pipeline of 5 to 10 deals, but if you're not working to get the next deal, or like, you're never going to continue to grow and become stable, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I think that's like a problem that a lot of people have when they start. It's like, they work, they learn what they need to do to try to get some business, and then they get the business, and then they like fix on it, or they just like kind of like stop doing those money making activities because they have some stuff in it and they're watching it, or they're getting too nervous about what's going on. They're trying to get too involved in the process. And one of the things I love about you that you do that is very similar to myself is you were, and he's not lying, like he would sit there and just hang out and listen to us, on the phones and talk, and was in the office all day long, after hours, always having questions, always wanted to figure out how to get better, which was what I did when I started with you. So I saw that in him, and I was like, he's going to put that effort in, and like, you can't teach that effort. Like you can teach somebody loans, you can teach somebody how to talk about interest rates, you can teach somebody, but you can't teach somebody hard work and the will, the want to learn. And then when you also like, even now at this point, like you're not afraid to ask questions. Too many people are afraid to ask questions. Oh, I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to sound dumb. I don't want to go ask Craig or Vern a question. You're not afraid to do that because at the end of the day, you care more about your clients and making sure you're getting them the right answers in the right situation, or the realtor the right thing, where, so many people get themselves in such bad situations because they're too afraid, or they think like, oh no, I've been doing this too long now, I can't ask a question. I ask questions to people all the time.
Or when
you have to.
Someone reiterates something to a client that's just completely wrong. Now that's in the client's mind, and they're not going to forget what you said if it was an important thing and where I have no shame. And if I'm on the phone with a client and they ask me something, I don't know the answer. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get right back to you on that. I feel like too many people will just be like, if I don't give an answer, I'm going to look stupid. No, you're going to look stupid if you give an answer that's incorrect, and then it, jeopardizes the deal.
I think with you, it's just like consistency though. There's the consistent work ethic, right? Like you're doing open houses on the weekends. You're working as much as you can, but at the same time, it amazes me that you're able to go golfing, with your girlfriend. You're able to go on vacation. Like you're still grinding at a high level when you are here, right? And that disconnect, like kudos to you. It took me 15 years to learn, like there's got to be that work-life balance, right? Yeah. It took Craig a while after he started because you jump in and you're just like inundated. That's all you want to do is just loans, build up that business. And then you look back and you're like, holy, I haven't had a life for like 3 years, 4 years. And you were able to pick that up. I mean, you're a young guy. I mean, how old are you?
26.
26 years old. I mean, I got into the business at 25, 26 years old. Like you're already ahead of that piece of it. And you already figured it out, right? Like I go through coaching and I'm like, guys, we need to separate your calendar. Like, where's your you time? Where is your spouse time or your time with your kids? You've been able to pick that up in 2 or 3 years. That's not normal for this industry. So
I think a big part is having the right, like you, two of my mentors right here, where you help out more on the, business development side and say like a personal life side, where it's like you harp on the most, you have to enjoy life as well, but you got to put the work in if you want to enjoy life. And you help out with my business development as well. And then on the loan side of things, where it's like, I go to you with the questions where I got emailed them yesterday, all caps, help. Because it was like one of those things where a weird file came through. Somebody wants to put an offer in and I'm like, I'm not going to be the guy that ruins this.
If it makes you feel any better, Jared, I send him the same emails now.
So I figured that was okay.
I was waiting for you to be like, oh yeah, Vern helps me with loans. You're like, no, I'm not going to him asking some technical question on something I know just changed 3 months ago.
It takes, granted, I have the luxury of being 3 offices down from you guys. So, but it takes that extra 5 minutes just to feel that much more confident in a file. And then you can call that a list agent and feel that much more confident in a file. Because I've had some go in where, I'm 90% sure it's going to work. And when I call that, when I call that list agent, I'm like, yeah, the file's good. We're going to be solid. We're going to close 90%, 95%. But then for the next 27 days, I'm every morning waking up. I could have 7 more files or deals I'm working on, but I'm focusing on that one, making sure everything goes smooth.
Jared has the highest level of anxiety of any loan officer at Milestone.
It's outstanding.
He worries about everything, which for me shows that you care, right? Like you care more about the consumer and the loan closing than anything else, right? Like, and taking that extra step of walking into Craig's office to review the file. There's too many loan officers in our industry that I feel like they care, but they're too embarrassed or they don't want to say, I'm going to walk into my mentor, my boss, or, Craig's office and take 3 minutes to answer 2 questions that inevitably could cause jeopardy to your business relationship, the culture, your brand, right? Like we're all in the mortgage business and you've done a great job with this. Yes, we all work at Milestone. Milestone's like where we hang our licenses, but you've done a great job of building your brand as Jared Methia, the loan officer. People might know that Craig Snell works at Milestone, but they're working with Craig Snell. They work with Vernon Miles. They're working with Jared Methia. I get calls weekly about you. Hey, Jared just showed up to the office. He just popped in here. He's doing these open houses. That's Jared doing the work, right? That's not the company. And I think we're lucky to have you. And like the sky's the future, man. If you just keep grinding it out, he keeps talking about being an athlete though. So we have to have fun on Mortgage Daddies. Can we please talk about this piece of it? Because coming from a couple of athletes in here, we've had some jokes around this. Let's talk about a little bit of the athleticism that this svelte young man has at 26 years old for our viewership.
I'm a has-been.
You're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
High school
He's
Hall
the
of
youngest
Famer.
Hall of Famer ever for Vogue.
I don't know. I'm going to have to get that stat. Yeah, no, it was, we won a Division II baseball state championship back in 2017. And it was a fun time. And since then, I've went on to break my ankle in a company kickball game. That was awesome. So I think my
Those days are over.
yeah, I think my sports stick to Monday night, men's pickup basketball where no one jumps for rebounds. No one really boxes out. No one's going to get hurt.
Unless you're playing with McCabe.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just being selfish here because when you first started off, I think probably within your first year, somehow my wife ends up being friends with you on Facebook or something, and she's going through like the picture or something, and
Shout out Sue.
There's a shout out to Sue right here. There's a picture of Jared, like his junior or senior year, high school football. He's got the whole black eye going. He's got a goatee when he's like 17 years old.
I think he had a goatee when he was in 8th grade.
I think he had a goatee when he was
When
born.
did that thing start?
Oh man, stuff started happening to my body pretty early in life. I think maybe 7th grade.
My
hair
wife
started
looks at me
growing.
and she's like, "This is like a grown man. He's kind of a hot looking guy in high school. A little Friday Night Lights action." I'm like, "We got to take care of this guy." we got the audience over here just shaking her head. Friday Night Lights, Jared. He's
Fast forward 6-7 years later, I'm at a networking event with Vern. Hey, guess how old this guy is? I don't know, 35, 36. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So everyone, but I don't hate it because in our people may think I'm older, which is not a bad thing because at the end of the day, what we're doing is such a big, crucial point in someone's life where we're dealing with hundreds of thousands of dollars being exchanged. And, sometimes it could be almost like a stereotype. I'm like, I don't want this 25, 26-year-old kid going through, when I first started 24, seeing my bank statements, going through my income, handling my loan. I want to go with someone who's, 35, been in the business for forever, which, isn't necessarily fair to the younger LOs, especially when you're getting into the business, because like, I think now is the time. Like we have so many people joining Milestone now. You guys do an awesome job with recruiting and, building the company. And a lot of them are older and they've all been doing it for 20 years. But then you get the newcomers where I feel like some people might not want to go this route of the industry just due to the fact where it's like, well, no one's going to take me serious because I'm younger. But I think it's all about how you present yourself.
I think, I felt that a little bit when I started too. And like, for you guys, you obviously you guys got into it younger than I did, but I think it all just has to do with like how you talk to people and the confidence that you have. Like when you have the confidence, there's not going to be a doubt on the other side. When you are like, I've seen younger people and they tell the way they talk and it's like they feel skittish on top, and I remember when I first started and it's like, okay, certain clients I was fine with. And then there was like those other clients that are like, it was the older guy, financial guy,
a little
or
more
whatever,
educated. They know what they're talking about.
Well off. And I'm like, I'm nervous talking to him because I don't want him to ask me something that I don't know. But it's just over time that goes away because, you get more comfortable, that those answers now. And, that does go away, but you can't be afraid of it. You just got to be confident. And
I would say that's something that you and I do well with in bringing on new people like the Jareds and the Jacobs and a lot of other people in our business. But he has to be one of the most matured 26-year-olds I've ever been around, right? I mean, from everything he does, for the most part, we're not going to get into like your extracurricular activities on President's Club. Shout out to Avery, since I was doing a shout out to Sue on this one now.
No, she takes care of me.
Yeah. I mean, but in all seriousness, you're probably one of the more mature, 26-year-olds out there. I mean, you have a long work history.
Yeah. I think that came from my dad, where before the mortgage business, before I came over, I worked for my dad for 3 years on some television shows. And I was very close with him as far as like on a business side of things, where how he would run the company and how he would kind of present himself. I would go to all the meetings, similar to like what I used to do in the beginning with you. Every training you had, I'd want to go to it because maybe I'm not at the point yet to have a training in front of 20 realtors, but when the time comes, I want to know how to do it.
Yeah,
be ready.
And it's just taking it all in, knowing how to present yourself, because at the end of the day, how you present yourself is how, people are going to trust you.
I think that being around people that are doing things at a higher level is very important to the growth of your own business.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if I didn't listen to you talk when I first started, I wouldn't be at the position that I was at so quickly because you don't pick up those things. You don't understand how to talk. You came to, we had a meeting the other day that I went with you guys for, and it's like, you texted me after and you're like, that was awesome because, I picked up a few tidbits of stuff, the way you talked, how you said certain things, how you go about it, how you keep the conversation going. It's important to kind of understand that. And, I think the people who don't have as hot of starts is because they lack that. Like they're just focused on trying to get business themselves. But you got to understand that you have to put time in that maybe you're not going to make money off of. That's very important. Like going to other meetings, sitting in on meetings, staying after, watching another person that's above you. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the top guy, but just somebody else. Like everybody goes about business a little different. And when you can take little tidbits from different people and you kind of put that together and you figure out your own flow and your own vibe, it's like now you have that confidence level and then the sky's the limit.
And this isn't a recruiting pitch to everyone watching, but if you're at somewhere, a place where, like you were saying, maybe you're not around people who are doing, you know, far higher volume than you, you're never going to learn. So like if somebody's in the industry and they're at another company where their top guy's doing 4 or 5 loans a month, why are you still there versus being here and being able to learn?
Who's going to show you how to do 10?
Yeah, exactly.
20 or 30.
And learn how, for example, I've been to 25 first-time home buyer seminars with Craig. I can go do one. If somebody called me tomorrow, I can go do it. I know how to do it. The meeting we had last week was with 2 broker owners of a real estate company, and I've never been with Craig on a meeting like that. I know he does them all the time, but I've never been involved in a meeting of that nature. And it was very, you know, eye-opening to see, okay, because you watch their reactions when they're going back and forth. I can see what, you know, what they're what's hitting them, what they like to hear. There's not really anything bad they like to hear, just due to the fact that what we do and the caliber of people we have, where it was just inspiring to see, okay, now I feel confident where I could go meet with a broker owner, kind of have the similar pitch, put my own twist on it. Because like you said, everyone goes about things in a different way. And I think that's very crucial, being at the right place in the right company, having the people above you showing you kind of the ropes, as well as, you know, learning from them.
Yeah, mentorship. I mean, we've talked about this a ton on the show, but like mentorship or having a good mentor and somebody that you actually, but it's not just like sitting there and like having them train you. It's like shadowing them is super important. Like in all aspects of business, like the people that I've seen that have done the best here have done that. People that I've seen that have done it in real estate and as realtors did it. You know, they worked under people, they worked under teams, they were under a good structure. They learned the basics. Like so many times people get in and they're like, well, I don't want to make less money on my deal. So I'm not going to go on a team, or I'm not going to go under somebody. And it's not necessarily you have to go on a team here to make less money, but like, you know, there's, you know, more on the real estate side or even on this side to a point. But it's like, if you're just starting off, it's like paying for college.
Yeah.
Right. You're paying for an education out of your commission to a point.
Yeah.
Like if you're a realtor or you're a loan officer and you're starting out, or maybe you've been in the business for a little bit of time and you're not really like taking off, maybe it's time to relook at how you go about things and go shift and maybe go under somebody else that can help you. Because one, when you're around somebody that's successful, success follows.
Yeah,
and opportunity follows, right? Like there's so many relationships that I have gotten just by hanging out with you. And there's so many relationships that you've gotten by hanging out with me.
Same
like
page.
You wouldn't have gotten to those situations, or I wouldn't have gotten into those situations without being there with you. And so many people miss that. Like they get so tunnel vision and focused on like,
dollars.
No, I just want to make this. I'm not giving part of my commission to the team leader. I'm not giving part of my commission to this. I want to make all the money. And they try to go off on their own like way too fast. And it just, their business just ends up flopping.
And the mentorship should never end. No. Right? Like that's the kick I get out of it. And we've seen loan officers, you've been definitely around long enough, where they think they're ready to fly. They're going to go open their own brokerage. They're going to go do this. And you're like, just more seasoned, older guys just look back, and I'll walk into Craig's office. I'm like, good luck to her. Good luck to him. Like I already know, because they're 2-3 years out just from a mentor. Like I wish them the best, but the chance that you're going to be able to go without having the certain contacts or going through like just business, like I learn a lot from the guests we've had on the show, right? There's a lot of self-employed entrepreneurs, Dean Snell, LaPointe. There's been title companies. I learned a lot from those guys, right? If you just sit and listen, like God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason sometimes. And it's wild to think like that. Like your dad, to be honest with you, like the handful of times that I've never sat down for hours with him, I've learned more in talking to John for 10 minutes that he doesn't even realize that he's almost like coaching, mentoring, because it's just little things that you can tweak out and listen to somebody. When Dean was on the show, I learned 4 or 5 different things. And I'm like, wow, that's a good idea. That, you know, you can implement that in all fields and all different types of businesses. Because at the end of the day, you're running a business. You're in business. Individual loan officer, no matter what. Just pick up little nuggets from some of the old school guys, and it's going to pay dividends down the road.
No, and I 100% agree. And everyone knows I like to talk, but I do listen a lot. Yeah. And if you're not listening, and like if you're always the loudest in the room, but you're never letting someone else speak, and kind of explain maybe their roadmap of how they became successful, you're just going to be in your own head for the rest of your life trying to figure it out. And to touch back on the mentorship, where it's cool, where I can have my bosses and my friends be my mentor. You know what I mean? Because it's guys I see every day, and I look forward to coming into work, seeing you guys and learning from you. And when you said, people get to a point where they think they don't need a mentor, I think is insane, especially in this business we're in. Because you get to someone like Craig, who he's doing 35, 40 loans a month. Then he gets to 80. Say I catch up hopefully I catch up in years down the road and I'm doing 30 loans a month. But if I say, okay, I'm doing 30 now, I don't need you anymore, Craig. How am I going to get to the 60? How am I going to get to 70 loans a month? Like it's never ending.
How do you start building a team? How do you start branching out?
People don't understand is it's hard to grow and it's hard to figure out, because then you hit a point one, it's hard to get the business. Then once you get the business, well, now you have to maintain the business and you have to be able to handle the business. Mm-hmm. Well, how can you do that? Now you have to put people in place. You have to build teams. You have to, put the whole situation together. Well, there's a lot of trial and error when it goes to that stuff.
So and then get more business.
You can skip a lot of those failures if you have somebody that's like, hey, I've done this before. This is the best way to do this. Or, hey, you really are at a point now where you're hitting a wall because you don't have this. You need that, right? Like you did that. You're like, hey, you need somebody now. You can't do this anymore by yourself. You need to go have somebody help you with X, Y, and Z. And then it's like, boom, next level. Yeah. And then you do it again, next level.
How I coach or mentor is I want that person to feel the pain before you give them the way out, right? Like I'll tell my son, don't touch the stove. But I'm only going to say it once. I want him to actually, in the back of my head, touch the stove, get burnt. And then I can say, look, I told you that. Because you're going to start building trust over time with that loan officer, my son, that says, oh, this old man actually knows what he's talking about. Then it's like, all right, let's start giving him some nuggets. Let's start throwing it out there. And it's crazy to see that even if, you're a mentor to a lot of people, the things that I learned from the people that they call me the mentor, I'm sitting in a coaching class 2 days ago with some people and I'm like, I just learned something totally different, a whole nother angle to go out and build everybody's business. So if you're always learning, I think that's the key, man.
I've heard you 1,000 times help other people where it's even friends of yours where they want to open their own shop. You never talk down to them. You help them. You show them what it takes to open their own, brokerage. And I think that's awesome versus trying to pitch someone. You're just going to be there to help them out, which is great. Where just back again to the support you get. And you're mentoring people that don't even work at our company.
And it's crazy. Cool. We were talking about this the other day when we were driving into Boston. Like these people that you've helped out, or these people that ask questions, or these groups that you're in, eventually it kind of all comes full circle. Yeah. And it's like now some of those people are joining Milestone because of what we've been able to do.
Yeah,
and
it's built a team, then they're coming back home.
This doesn't really it's a lot of work. Like it's not just like being a loan officer is not for everybody. Running a brokerage is not for everybody. It's a lot of work that goes into it. And
mentor and leadership comes down to just having the balls to want to step into the batter's box in the bottom of the ninth with 2 on, 2 out, and in a full count, right? Like me and Craig were in the car driving to Boston to just bring that right back up and kind of set the stage for it. And we jump on a call. It turns out to be a pretty crazy call. It's got a lot of potential. But without Craig and myself being able to put ourselves in that situation, put ourselves out there, there's too many broker owners of real estate companies and mortgage companies that just want to keep everything internal. It's like they have a secret sauce. I'm like, here's the sauce. I'll give it to everybody. Like, if you want to go use it, I'll help you. I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you what companies I used. Use them, don't use them. But I want to listen to, hey, that works for you? Yeah, let's see if that works kind of in our system. But you never stop learning, right? Like, that's why I don't mind helping everybody. Because these calls and because of these groups, you can't scale a business to where Craig and I want to take it to a whole nother level without partnerships and relationships. So is it worth just holding it down with, Milestone could have just been me and Craig, 3 or 4 support offices, maybe 1 or 2 loans, and we would have been fine.
And
but how much fun would that have been?
Yeah, right. You guys wouldn't have me.
Yeah, come on. I think we would have.
Yeah, probably. To touch on it though, where I've told you a million times, like I'm a lifer. I never in my future do I think like I'm going to go, try to open my own shop because it'd just be, what am I doing at that point? I'm going to go open an own shop to what? Make a maybe full boat, but then go against the, the biggest company in this.
It's not only that, but I would want you to go open up your own shop, right?
Yeah.
No, like, but
on record,
like,
I'm never leaving.
for the record, like, I want you to get out there, because if that's like a burning desire that somebody has inside is to go do that. But I always want to leave the door open. And Craig's heard me on this, and I've seen him do it now with business partners. It's okay. You want to go work with this other mortgage company?
Yeah.
I want to leave the door open, right? Because I've left the door open to all these different mortgage broker owners that I've helped build their business or coach them up. Now we're getting to the scale we are. And now they're calling and saying, you can't scale past X without the expenses going completely out of control. Can I just come and run a team over at Milestone, bring my entire group over? They know they're going to make more money. They don't have the headache of the overhead, right? So I hope that you go, and not I hope you go, but like, right, so I hope as many people go out, but leave the door open, right? Like, if somebody leaves the company on good terms, great. Like, we're friends. We can go grab a beer, go grab dinner. The real estate agents, it's the same thing. It's too many times I see people do everything. And listen, I'm old. I've been doing this for a long time. I look back at my own career and I'm like, I could have handled these 3 or 4 situations, 2 or 3 of them like blaring in my head on a regular basis. I'm like, never do that again. Like, I could have gone about that a different way. But at the end of the day, you just got to recognize that.
And me being like close with you guys, I'm able to tell you where I know it's happened to both of you hundreds of times, where you start getting recruited by places and then it becomes, people would think it becomes weird. I didn't think it was weird at all, because I would just come to you guys and be like, how do I respond to this nicely? And, let them know I'm very happy where I am. Thanks for the offer, but I'm not leaving. And you guys help me out, craft up an email and send it back to them in a polite way. Because like you said, you never want to burn, relationships.
They might be working with us soon.
Exactly. So
or
it's like,
we might be working with them. And bringing up the recruiting thing is, I remember giving Craig, and I had no coaching on this. It was completely off the whim. He might have thought that I was really smart at the time. I played this one off, and I just hope for the best. Is, Craig 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, he's getting recruited by top players nationwide, right? He's getting recruited by the top retail lenders in the nation, and they are throwing money around. I don't even know this much money on my house, right? Like, it's wild. 7 figures across the board. And he comes to me, tells me, it's like, I guess, what do you think I should do? Should I go on this follow-up recruiting? And I'm like, Frank, you have to go on these recruiting things. You have to do the right thing for your family. But more importantly, you need to get recruited. So when the time comes, you know how to recruit and know how to act to go and recruit the next person, because, there's probably not ever going to be another Craig Snell, because we all run our businesses differently, like we talked about earlier. But if he never gets recruited and never goes on a dinner and never goes through that entire process, how's he going to recruit somebody down the road, right? Like, I'm not only looking at every single person that's currently at Milestone. I don't have them in a box that this is their only job that they're going to do for the next 25 or 30 years. Like, my job is going to evolve almost on a daily basis. Like, Craig and I talk, I'm like, I don't even know what I do here anymore. Like, every day it's a different task. It's ever changing. But when it comes to that recruiting piece, I want to have as many recruiters. Everybody at Milestone should be a recruiter in some capacity. But I want to help people grow to where they want to achieve what they want to do, right? Like, processors want to run a team of processors, loan officers want to be a branch manager or run a team or whatever it may be. That's kind of what Craig and I have kind of morphed our roles into, is like really helping as many people grow as possible. And watching you over the short period of time you've done it, dude, it's wild to see the growth that you've had over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, like, not to sound like cliche, it's just a lot of fun. Like, coming into work and being able to work with you guys. And this guy's laughing.
He says it all. No, he says it all the time.
It's just fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I could have the worst day, but it's like, still, okay, something's going terribly wrong with the deal. Oh, not our fault. Someone else's fault. Maybe. But it's just like, you walk out of the office, you see everyone, and it's like, you could just be having the worst day ever. You see someone, you have a little conversation for 30 seconds, and now your kind of mood shifts where.
Yeah. I mean, I think like as a whole, like the culture that we have here is so different than anywhere else, where it's not just the help in the business, because like we really don't lose people, and people get recruited all the time. And, when I was getting recruited, it's like the way they're going about it or the things they're talking about, it's like, the money's nice. Like, I would have loved the 7-figure sign-on bonus, which would have been great. But at the end of the day, like, you start to think about it and you start to look at the overall picture, and you're like, doing that is going to affect my business, and I don't want that to affect my business. Like I want to be at a place that is going to put me in the best position every day to win and to be number one. I don't want to go anywhere else just for some money.
Yeah.
Like that's not what I'm here for. And it's like, we're around the same type of people that have that same mindset where it's not just about the sign-on bonus. Like there's so many loan officers out there that just jump around from company to company to get some money. You just see their numbers going down and down and down. We're bringing people in and their numbers are going up and up and up because you're in the right situation. You're at the right type of a company, the right kind of a structure with the right type of people and the culture. And then, that's what we're building here. We're not going to throw around money and signing bonuses. We're never going to do that. We're going to go and we're going to give you the best option for you to win every day, become the best loan officer, because I'll tell you right now, you'll make a lot more money doing double the amount of deals than any sign-on bonus that you're going to get.
For you guys, it must be cool to, run a company where you don't need to throw money at people and they want to come here.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like that's going to be
cool.
awesome. That's going to be a pretty awesome feeling for a company that's 5.5 years old, where big names are coming over, and you're not like on a money throwing hunt.
The only reason I laughed
shifted a lot, for that.
The only reason I laughed when you said it's just really fun to come here and to work. Like we're all coming here to work. We're all doing the same things that other people are doing. It's a job. My daughter came in yesterday, and I'm supposed to sit there for like an hour or two with her and jammed out all day, nonstop. Right? Sorry for like probably 5 minutes. But I have so much fun when I come here. I look forward to coming to work. Like I can't wait to get to the office and start working, start seeing the people interacting. I think that's really what separates us. I pull in here sometimes and there's like operations staff that have already been here for an hour. And I'm like, it's 8:15. Like, what are you guys doing?
I think a lot of places like real estate companies, mortgage companies, whatever it is like, they don't have that same type of like camaraderie where, you're just as willing to spend time helping somebody with their deal as you are with your own deal. Where other companies, it's like, well, I'm not going to talk to them. I don't want them to know how I'm doing.
Why am I going to help that person?
I'm not going to bring them to my event. I don't want them to talk to my agents. I don't want them. And it's like, we don't have that because that started from the top down. So it's like, we don't allow for that to happen here. You're not going to come in here and be like that type of person. You're going to bring somebody with you because they're going to be able to learn something. And if they get an agent, you didn't have that agent. It's kind of like or if they get a deal, you didn't have that deal. We don't have that kind of issue, here where I was talking to a guy that I know that runs a real estate team, and it's like, he just feels like the company, like they just go after each other.
And it's like
to each other.
Why do that internally? You know what I mean? Where
you know what, I'd hate to say it does start from the top. Like Craig and I, right from the jump, like he was in the business like 6 months. And I'm like, hey, here are all these agents that I just don't have time to get to, but I don't want to lose their business. So I'm not sleeping at night because I'm just working nonstop. So it's a relief. But coming from the top down from all of us, it's like, why would I go after your business or somebody in the office? We're going to weed you out. Like if you're that guy that comes in here and you're just going after everybody's house, we're going to push you out of here. Like we don't even want you here.
Where like what you touched on, where when Craig came on, 6 months down the line, and you're like, I'm getting too busy, where it does happen, where it's like, you want to be able to give all your referral partners your 100% effort, where it's like, I've had times before where I've been fortunate enough for Craig to say, hey, like a couple of these agents, like I want you to kind of work with them. Like what other company are you going to go to where that could be, potentially an option for you? Obviously you have to put in the work. It's not like I just walked in and was like, hey, Craig, I need 5 agents. If you don't give it to me, I'm leaving.
And the cool thing is as we continue to grow as a company, we're building more relationships. Our brand is getting out there. Real estate agents in the community want to work with Milestone, but there's only one Craig Snell, right? Like, so now he can say, hey, I run a team of 40 loan officers and I got 4 that I can dedicate to your office. I'm going to oversee it on a higher level. That's an awesome feeling to know that you have 4 people, that he has 4 people that he can trust to stick in that office, trust with the relationship and run with it and turn it into something awesome.
The cool thing to watch from the outside from the inside is I've had agents tell me they don't feel comfortable accepting an offer unless it's a Milestone approval, whether it's Vern, Craig, myself, Eric or Rob, Rosemary, you know what I mean? They don't feel confident in accepting that offer unless Milestone's name's on it, which I think is awesome, which I've talked to you about the other day. Like the weight our pre-approval holds, it's like, do we call the list agent to, tell them we vetted the borrower and like we're good to go, we're not going to have any issues? Yeah, anyone could do that though, but it doesn't mean what they're saying is 100% true.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that's something that's been super important to myself since I've started. And it's like when we started, it's like nobody knew Milestone. They
Yeah,
get
it's
a
wild.
proof from Milestone. They're like, who the hell is Milestone?
What
And they're like,
this?
is that Vern? Like, cause like he'd
Yeah.
been around and I had it. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah. And they're like, just give us a chance. You got to build it.
Yeah.
You got to build it. And it's like,
First 6 months, I don't even tell anybody I worked at Milestone. I was just like, yeah, it's my pre-approval. They're like, what's Milestone? I'm like, yeah,
it takes a while, but it's like that reputation at the end of the day. And that's something that's just going to keep going. And like, that's like our focus now is like, we're going to go and get more relationships to be able to feed the people that we have and continue to do that and just keep replicating that because that works. And then when you put the people in place to handle that business and to spend the time, it's like, one person can't do everything.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
And it's any business too, where it's like if you have someone putting in a lot of effort and time, those are typically the people that are going to be like, okay, like for instance, my brother owns a landscaping company. He's got 5-6 guys. Where if one of them's doing a little bit more, he's like, all right, this is your crew now. You run this crew, you're going to get a little bit of a pay bump, but you're going to be responsible for these people underneath you. And if something goes wrong, it's on you.
I think that's like, just about everything we've kind of talked about, and just to kind of wrap this up, like the people who put the work in the hardest and always are there and they're going to put that extra effort in, you're going to get put into opportunities that person behind you isn't going to. Like if you're there, you're willing to go to things, you're willing to help out, you're willing to put that extra effort in. People see that, like your bosses see that, the people that are above you see that. And then who do you think they're going to call when they need something? They need help with something, or like, that person that was mentoring you, are they going to call some other loan officer that they're competing with? No, they're going to give you the business because you were there putting that extra work in. And that's across the board. But my man, it was a pleasure having you on the
I appreciate
the
you guys
podcast.
having
It was
me.
a
Jared
great
killing
time.
it, baby.
I was hoping
rolling.
to get the call in a little sooner, but episode 67 isn't too bad.
We had to keep your anxiety level high.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
that call.
appreciate that for sure. No,
Now he knows we can't fire him or anything like that. It's like he made it to the pod. So
We at least got to
he's
let his
winning.
episode air.
Yeah, exactly.
don't put this on the shelf, Javi. This is airing.
All right, guys. See you
Thanks,
next
guys.
time.